I would say that the fact that Israel has asked or demanded or instructed 1 million Palestinians to leave a particular area is an indication that a ground war is imminent. I think it's the biggest sign that I've seen of the many confirmations, both in the rhetoric that's been ramping up and in the military preparations that we've seen this week since the attack Saturday in the south of Israel. I also think, even though there is a deadline and 1 million people have been asked to move in a space of time that's almost impossible, it's impossible for many reasons, which include the fact that there's ongoing bombings. You can't move 1 million people if there's bombings from the sky. It's the bombings people usually try to escape. And I think they do know that if you really want to move these people, including people who are in hospital, wounded, elderly, people with children, if you do want to move them, you need a corridor. You need a pause in the bombing, and you need a corridor in which things can come in and people can move. And I guess there's some question about whether that could be a negotiation in return for some difference, some move on the hostages, for example, a humanitarian relief in return for a humanitarian relief. It's interesting to see that the US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, is making these comments in Qatar. Qatar is it funds Hamas. It's very closely linked to Hamas. He's gone there for a reason, and I guess the next big Arab country he would be talking to would be Egypt, because it is that border to the south of Gaza where perhaps people could go also, although Egypt at the moment says it has no interest in that. That's been its position for many years. Nevertheless, perhaps this crisis is of such a different standing that they would be involved too.
Well, and meanwhile, Irris, rocket attacks from Hamas are continuing.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Despite this huge humanitarian crisis, there is an ongoing, right now, within the last 10 minutes, it's a barrage of rockets that have hit certain towns in southern Israel today, and one rocket that reached all the way north to the town of Haifa, further north than Tel Aviv. And I think what Hamas is saying is we're still in the game. It doesn't matter how much you bomb us. And I suppose, in a way, it supports what Israel has always alleged, which is that the Hamas leadership is underground, well looked after, has electricity because it has generators. The leadership is safe and the military is still functioning. It's the people in Gaza who suffer. That's always been the Israeli allegation. And I have to say that as well as rockets all the way, persistent rocket fire from Gaza, we've also seen skirmishes on the northern border and Israelis in their bomb shelters at different times. So, and also, I forgot to add, the West Bank is in play, if you like that expression, is also relevant today because we have seen conflicts between Israeli soldiers and Palestinians in the West Bank. So it's been a very fraught day here today.